All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Derek Stiles, and I'm a psychology major here at Cal Lutheran University. Um, and I'm going to be doing my cross-cultural presentation for you. Um, so I guess we'll just get into it. I set up everything. So for my cross-cultural encounter, I interviewed my best friend Jose, who's from El Salvador. He's 32 years old. He identifies as Salvadorian and Catholic. He's bilingual in Spanish and English. Jose also lives with schizophrenia, which gave me a really meaningful chance to explore how cultural affects the way people experience mental health. Um, I chose Jose because even though we've been friends for years, I've never really asked about how his cultural background shaped his beliefs, emotions, and the way he communicates. I grew up in the US in a culture that really values independence and self expression, while Jose grew up in a family centered, collectivist environment that focuses on loyalty and respect. So, for me, my learning objectives, my main goals for this project were to understand how Salvadorian family values and emotional norms shaped Jose's worldview, to learn how cultural stigma affects mental health experiences, and to develop better intercultural awareness that I can apply as a future counselor. Um, I wanted to see how culture and communication come together in real life, especially how people from different backgrounds handle emotions, relationships, and help seeking. So, for the key learnings about culture and communication, what stood out to me was how family and emotional restraint define Salvadorian culture. Jose told me we show love all the time, but keep problems to ourselves. That one line really captured how his family stays connected and caring, even though they don't always talk about personal struggles. He said as a kid, he helped take care of relatives and learned early to put others first. Showing negative emotions was seen as disruptive or disrespectful. But since moving to the US, Jose has learned to blend both worlds. He's more open now, but still deeply loyal to his roots, of course. Uh, Hearing him talk made me realize how different our emotional rules are. Where I was taught to express everything, he was taught to manage feelings quietly to protect relationships. Uh, Neither one is better. They're just shaped by different values and worldviews. Um, Communication and strategies and challenges. So one of the biggest challenges I had was slowing down and really listening instead of analyzing or comparing. At first, I wanted to jump in and relate everything back to my own experiences, but then I realized that effective cross cultural communication means meeting the other person where they are. So instead, I focused on asking open ended questions and letting silence sit when he was thinking. That small change made a big difference. It really gave Jose space to share more openly and help me adapt my communication to be more culturally sensitive. So, integration with cross cultural psychology theories and models, right? Two theories helped me make sense of what I learned. And it was Hofstede's individualism versus collectivism, and then, of course, Ekman's cultural display rules. So, according to Hofstede, the US is individualistic. People value independence and personal achievement. El Salvador, on the other hand, is collectivist, which means loyalty and family harmony come first. This difference showed up everywhere in Jose's stories, from family expectations to how he handles emotions. Ekman's theory of display rules helped explain why Jose was taught to control emotions. In his culture, showing restraint keeps peace and shows maturity. In mine, being open about feelings is seen as healthy and authentic. Hearing his perspective helped me understand that neither style is right, they both serve different cultural goals. I also connected this to, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Salin and Alkanar's study. They did a study on schizophrenia in 2023 across cultures, and they found that while symptoms like auditory hallucinations show up everywhere, the content in interpretation differ by culture. In some places, hallucinations are seen as spiritual experiences, while in others, they're treated as medical issues. Jose's story matched that perfectly. In El Salvador, his early symptoms were seen as something moral or religious. After living in the US, he began to see them through a medical lens, which helped reduce his shame and made him more open to treatment. It really showed how culture changes the way people understand mental health. Okay, so then cultural assumptions and biases. I jumped ahead on the slide a little bit, but before this project, I'll admit I had my own assumptions. I thought emotional openness was always healthier. I had stereotypes about Central American cultures that came mostly from media, things like poverty or crime, instead of family strength and communication. Right? It's unfortunate, but that's what a lot of us view that as. This experience completely changed that. My interview with Jose, I saw how emotional privacy can be a form of respect and protection, if you will. It also reminded me that people can hold two cultural identities at once. What we call bicultural identity, we use both to build their own sense of balance. Personal reflection and growth. So, personally, this project taught me to slow down, listen deeper, and avoid assuming that my way of communicating is universal. It also showed me how easily stigma can grow in cultures where mental illness isn't openly discussed. Seeing Jose embrace therapy and medication helped me appreciate how cultural change can lead to healing. I also learned about myself, how much my own independence and directness are part of my American upbringing. This experience made me more aware of how my cultural lens affects the way I interpret others. There were moments that felt uncomfortable, especially realizing how much I take self expression for granted. But that discomfort helped me grow, right? It pushed me to see things through Jose's eyes and not just my own. Um, so, oh, I skipped that one. Whoops. Growth. Where did that go? Oh, no. Yeah, so in conclusion, this encounter taught me that culture shapes everything, how we communicate, how we love, how we heal. Jose's story showed me that cultural differences aren't barriers, they're bridges to understanding. Uh, Cross cultural psychology isn't just about theory, it's about learning to see people as products of their unique experiences. So I'll leave you with the question: how might our relationship change if we approached every cultural difference with curiosity instead of judgment? And some references for you guys. And thank you all for listening to my presentation. See you all in class.